Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, that's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We've got an email here from Kay.
Okay, subject is surprising URM HLS rejection. Underrepresented minority being rejected, I guess, at Harvard. Okay. Greetings, Ben and Nathan. This cycle, I applied to Harvard Law School and was rejected without receiving an interview invite. Historically, there has always been an emphasis on the importance of numbers at these elite schools. Additionally, URM applicants have frequently been able to gain admission to elite institutions without astronomical numbers due to the URM boost.
Which we looked at just earlier today when we were recording the Thinking LSAT podcast. We saw that Harvard Law School specifically, according to law school data anyway, had about a 4 LSAT point differential between URM admittees and non-URM admittees. So you're getting about 4 LSAT points at Harvard.
Yep. Kay continues, here's my conundrum. I'm a black woman with a 3.9 high GPA. Maybe just say what the GPA is. And a 174 LSAT. It is not my intention to sound entitled or arrogant, but based on the data, the combination of my stats and URM status should have at least landed me an interview. I am fairly certain my soft factors were not an issue.
No, your soft factors were the only issue.
Yeah, that's what soft factors do. People always look to them as a means to get in. They're really an excuse for the school to deny you.
Something in there kept you out. We don't know what it is.
Yeah. I had solid letters of recommendation from professors who I had amazing rapport with. I spent 6 or more months revising my essays under the supervision of an attorney.
Okay, those were probably bad.
Yeah, attorneys aren't necessarily the best writers. It depends on who you're talking to. And I was accepted to UCLA School of Law with the same application.
Of course you were, based on your numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, there was something in your softs that Harvard didn't like. That you gotta face facts on that. And UCLA might have seen those exact same red flags and said, we don't give a shit because that's a 3.9 high 174. Like that applicant's in. That, I mean, regardless of URM status,
more.
You're in.
Yeah.
And so, but there was something in there. You say you had solid LORs from professors who you had an amazing rapport with. Maybe that rapport wasn't as good as you thought with one of those professors. Or maybe they just, I don't know, maybe they wrote something in there. That could have been it. You could have got sabotaged there. These essays that you revised, like the fact that you revised them for 6 months is not really actually a selling point at all. It shouldn't take 6 months.
Yeah.
And attorneys aren't necessarily good writers. Ben used to teach attorneys who were bad writers.
Yeah.
And whether they're a good writer or a bad writer, they might have no idea what the law school would be looking for out of you.
Yeah. Might have turned into too much of a spin job or too much of an argument for yourself, which came across flat. Who knows? She continues, I do not have extensive work history as I graduated last year. I have been told repeatedly that my numbers, lack of work experience, would not matter much. Fortunately, I have other solid softs, including activism, volunteering, and study abroad.
But any of those could have been also the thing that kept you out.
Yeah.
And I should say, let me say one other thing. Kay, it could be as simple as they had too many K through JDs this year, and you're on the chopping block because you're a K through JD. Harvard does whatever the fuck they want, right? Harvard, they could have decided we need to make our class a little older this year. Let's just not admit very many of these K through JDs. Like 3.9 and a 174. Okay, well, let's see if she reapplies next year.
You never know.
Yeah, any one school can make any. Maybe the reviewer like had a bad sandwich for lunch that day and they were in a bad mood.
I mean, look, it could be a technical glitch too. I doubt it, but
totally.
Maybe something got fucked up with your numbers in their system and it didn't pop up and they look at it and
LSAC
like, oh shit.
Glitch. Remember when LSAC sent Hastings 2 copies of the same letter of recommendation? That was in my application. They sent the same letter from one person twice instead of sending 2 different letters from 2 different people. And I ended up almost getting denied to Hastings because of that technicality.
Yeah.
So anything could have happened here.
She continues, I understand it is Harvard Law School and no applicant is guaranteed admission or an interview. There is a very real chance admissions faculty just did not enjoy me enough as an applicant.
They didn't enjoy your softs. They didn't like your softs. Yeah.
Likely, or technical error or something. However, I am quite perplexed at this outcome based on the data of past URM admits. Any insight you could provide would be greatly appreciated. Happy New Year to you both. P.S. Apologies for the lengthiness. I wanted to ensure I addressed any questions that might occur in your discussion. Hey, I think we've exhausted our possible explanations. You could try to apply again.
Weird shit happens, Kay. I mean, I remember the student who called me in tears because they had gotten denied from Berkeley and they thought that Berkeley was a really great, like a safe school for that applicant. Which no one should ever think that a school like Berkeley is a safe school for you. You know, schools that are in the top 10 or whatever, they can randomly not admit you. You know, it's probably going to just be a 1 in 10 chance or something, but they can randomly not admit you for any reason. Anyway, that student who was crying because they had gotten denied from Harvard called me back the same day. Sorry, gotten denied from Berkeley, called me back the same day to tell me that they had been admitted to Harvard.
Yeah.
So if you can get denied by Berkeley and admitted to Harvard, then you can definitely get denied by Harvard and admitted to UCLA, which is really all the data you've shown us here.
Yeah. And heck, I don't think it would hurt to call up Harvard and just say, hey, thanks. I got my rejection letter. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. Just double check that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that they have appeals potentially that you might be able to
just be real. Just talk to the person on the phone. Say, I just want to make sure there's no mistake here, but just because I have a 3.9, I have a 174, they'll say, okay, sure. Let me check. And they'll probably just say, yeah, you were actually denied. And you can say, no worries. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. And you could also wait another year to go to law school and work a little bit. And that, you know, if Harvard is really your dream, then I certainly wouldn't just rush off to UCLA.
Yeah.
That's kind of an East Coast, West Coast thing a little bit. It's also do you really want to go to the elite level, or do you just want to go to the best law school in Los Angeles? You know, good options both ways probably, but I don't see why. What's the big deal if you withdraw and reapply next year? Maybe work on those essays. That's my guess, is that there's something in the essays that don't.
You also mentioned UCLA. Hopefully you've applied to more places, Kay, and there's more options between UCLA.
Yeah, right. You should get hopefully you're going to get a whole spectrum of offers, and then you'll be able to really decide what you want to do.
Yep.
Harvard can still be working through COVID deferrals, right?
Sure.
I mean, that was only a year or two ago that the whole, tons of people ended up deferring. And so that kind of tightened up the admissions for a couple of years, and they could still be having ramifications from that. Who knows what's going on?
Thanks for writing in. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.